Well, Jen was gonna bring the plus the parents or the moms. So, I think Act 1 we start making crab Napoleons. Does that work?
After a long week of work, I look forward to relaxing. But sometimes I want to treat myself to some great food too. So I need dishes that break away from the ordinary, but are easy enough for me to enjoy preparing. Like a juicy prosciutto lamb burger with pecorino cheese cooked right inside. Pea and basil soup has a fresh cooked taste, but it only takes minutes to make. Fennel puree is a light and delicious alternative to potatoes. And chocolate espresso cups are like hot chocolate for adults. With these recipes, Friday night dinner is the first course to a great weekend. Burgers make a perfect Friday night meal to sit back and relax with, and I have a way to make them extraordinary. My prosciutto lamb burgers have a flavor all their own. I mix ground lamb with savory spices, salty pecorino romano cheese, and sweet sun-dried tomatoes. The finishing touch? Each burger is wrapped with a mouth-watering slice of prosciutto. These burgers cook up moist, meaty, and bursting with flavor. These lamb burgers are a great alternative to the regular Friday night burgers. And I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna start by heating up my pan. I'm just gonna add a little bit of olive oil. Let that heat up. In the meantime, I am gonna start with my seasonings. Half a cup of regular store-bought breadcrumbs. I always start with the seasoning first. Mix that all up, that way I don't overwork the actual lamb meat. We're also gonna add some parsley. And I love the parsley because the lamb is very rich. And when you're using ground meat, it's nice to add some fresh flavors. Okay, so about a quarter cup or so of parsley. There we go. And some sun-dried tomatoes. Now, the thing about sun-dried tomatoes is they're chewy and they're super sweet. And so I love them in here. I'm gonna use about a quarter cup or so. There we go. They just smell so good. They're so yummy. And I think burgers are so perfect, especially on a Friday night. You could do a lamb meatloaf, or you could do lamb mini meatballs and then toss some pasta with it. So really anything you want. I just think this one's a little bit easier. Now, we need about 2 tablespoons of milk. And the milk is sort of what keeps the lamb burgers nice and moist, you know, and kind of rich as well. So mix that all up. There we go. We're also gonna add 1 egg. Now you could beat the egg first and then add it, but I'm just gonna break it and add it right in here. And just break it up as you're mixing it up. We'll add a little bit of salt and some freshly ground black pepper in there, and the pecorino romano. I love this cheese. It's tangy and it's kind of sharp. So we're gonna add half a cup of pecorino romano. There we go. And mix that all together. Okay, so now I'm gonna add 1 pound of ground lamb. And at this point, I'm going in with my hands. Gonna mix it all together. And see, all you have to do is just mix the seasoning ingredients into the lamb. And once it's all mixed in, you're good to go. Okay, so now this is ready. I'm gonna move this platter over. I'm gonna divide this in 4. So just pat it in your hand and see how everything sticks? It's perfect. Okay, so now I'm just gonna put it in the center of this piece of prosciutto and wrap it with the prosciutto. There we go, we get a little sizzle, which is exactly what you want. Now these are gonna cook for about 6 to 8 minutes on each side. I'm gonna wash my hands and then we'll flip burgers. All right, my burgers just need another minute. In the meantime, I'm gonna take my tomato and I'm just gonna slice 4 slices of tomato. I'm gonna grab a couple of basil leaves per burger because these basil leaves are pretty small. So if you find bigger leaves, then you just need to use 1. one burger at a time. I can't tell you how great the smell is. And now, take a slice of tomato, put it right on the top, and then a couple of basil leaves. See how pretty that looks? Okay, and now, finishing touches. A little bit of olive oil, just to season the tomatoes and the basil. And for a little bit of sweetness, I add just a tiny bit of balsamic vinegar right on top. So now, all I have to do is eat one. Get that out there. Slide it onto my plate. I'll move this over. Look how perfect that looks. I want to blow on it just because it's hot. Oh my gosh. That prosciutto crust on top of the burger, so good. It's so moist, so tender. It's so perfect. Up next, I'm gonna make my pea soup with basil. It's mouth-watering.